What up, everybody? It's Jason, Zombie Collector, or I should say Zombie Collected. And I have a new stack of wrestling cards. So if you're not much into the wrestling scene, then you're probably not going to care much about what I'm getting ready to show you. So you could probably move on from this video because I'm not going to try to bamboozle anyone. But this is like the last hoorah when I went like balls out about a month ago, 2 weeks ago, about cards I received or that I was checking, or I'm sorry, trying to buy on eBay. So this is the last part of that first foray back into the collecting. I went and kind of went crazy the last couple days and put a bunch of bids in again for all kinds of stuff, mostly baseball this time. So I'm kind of going in a loop. Kind of do wrestling, kind of do baseball, still doing physical media. But anyways, and I'm also selling a ton of crap as well. So I probably should put my eBay store on there, or my eBay auctions. I don't think I've ever done that before, so maybe I'll do that because I'm sure a lot of you all might be interested, because I sell things, almost everything starts out at a quarter, free shipping. I mean, who doesn't like that, right? And so anyways, I might need to do that sometime. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into it. The first one up is Swerve Strickland Rookie Card Refractor. I think I got this for, I don't even know, $1, a quarter, free shipping or something. But he is now with AEW, which that's the reason why I picked this up. I'm usually only picking up AEW wrestlers. I'm a huge fan of Swerve Strickland. I never heard of him. Apparently he was Isaiah Swerve Scott in NXT and WWE. So a lot of times when they're over there, unless they're like the legends or like the mega stars that you hear about, I don't know who a lot of those wrestlers are. So I never heard of this guy until he showed up, and then not obviously had heard that he was with WWE originally. So anyways, this card looks great. I really like his character on AEW, so I was like, yes, I will take him. Next up is Ruby Riott, or Ruby Soho now. She is from Indiana, which is two reasons. One, I don't think she's a great wrestler. Obviously, I think she's a good-looking lady, but her being from Indiana is the overriding reason I'm a big fan. I believe this is, it looks like, I don't know if this is a gold or a bronze parallel. It looks like there's a little bronze look to it, or gold. But there you have that. She also right now is in a cool faction with Tony Storm and Saraya. Outsiders kind of doing what the WCW did with Scott Hall and Razor Ramon / Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash / Diesel. And there's another Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott with the Rookie Cup, which I love, the Topps Rookie Cup there. But from Lafayette, Indiana. And then the last Ruby Soho there, WrestleMania card. She's one of the very few wrestlers who's always kind of kept her gimmick, from what I gathered, but she always changes up her look. She'll go with long hair, she'll go with short hair, she'll do red hair, green hair, blue hair. She's always just trying to do something up. She'll change out her outfits a lot. She'll have a lot of different kind of outfits. You'll sometimes see, especially, I guess the men, but a lot of times the women will only have a handful of seems like the same outfits you'll see them wrestling. But it seems like Ruby Soho has quite a bit of outfits that she switches up a lot, which is kind of cool to see the different designs. And she's always trying to put messages on her jackets. I may not agree with all the messages that she's out there doing, but she's doing her thing, and she's changing it up. Now we got some AEW cards. This is from the last year. This is, of course, Big Show, Paul White. Huge fan of Big Show when I was a kid growing up, when he was initially with WCW. And then I just never felt like he got the fair shake in WWE/F. I always thought he was kind of treated like the final boss, but he always was getting beat by everybody. But I really like him. He, as a commentator, when he started out, it was kind of shaky. But I feel like he's a great commentator now on AEW. I want to say Elevation on Mondays. I find him to be great with Matthew, is it Menard? Or is it Matthew Menard? Or anyways. But he's really good. He sometimes will show up on Rampage and Dynamite as a guest one. I really like him as a commentator. He's kind of grown on me. Then we got the now TNT champion, right? Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Hobbs. I like his stuff. I'm a little bit nervous about the whole QT Marshall angle, But I'm hopeful that I do find some of it to be pretty hilarious at QTV. But Powerhouse Hobbs doesn't really need someone to do any talking for him, which is typically what QT Marshall has kind of done in the past, and kind of do a lot of this, just to get the heat going with some of his guys. So I'm not really for sure. That the story is kind of out with that one. We'll see how that goes. Next up is a base card of Powerhouse Hobbs. He's gotten a lot better shape. I mean, he was already in like fantastic shape, but you could tell he's like slimmed down and put on more muscle. Because I mean, now he used to wear these kind of I forgot the right terminology for that. Singlet, I think maybe that's the right word. But I mean, he was a little bit more heavy set. And again, I'm not one to talk, but I'm just saying you could tell like he was wanting to make a big run and kind of put himself in like contention to really be a needle mover there, and he's starting to do that. He's gotten bigger and more powerful looking, so that's great. We got Riho, 5'2". I think that's probably being generous. They have her on here and from Nihon. And I'm not a big fan of Riho's. I mean, I guess, like, if she's fighting or wrestling a girl around her size, it's somewhat believable. But it's like a Marco Stunt when he was with AEW. It's when you have Marco Stunt wrestling guys that are literally a foot taller than him and probably have 50 to 80, sometimes 100 pounds on him, and he's still somehow winning. That's how that is. The same with Rio. She's 5'2". Almost all the standard girls, I would assume, that are kind of like the bigger, big names, are at least 5'7", if not, 5'8", 9, 10, and then have her in there, and they're all probably 30, 40 pounds heavier than her minimum. I mean, the stuff that she has to do to get over, like the whole jumping through the air, like that picture was, just to try to get people excited. I know people like her, and I'm not trying to bury her, but I'm just kind of like, meh. Kind of like I am with Ortiz here, kind of like, man, he's been gone. I think he's technically still with AEW, but he hasn't been on TV for, I don't know, it feels like a year now. I think there was like a legit falling out between him and Santana, and he hasn't been back since, so I don't know if he's going to be eventually coming back or not, but I never really was a big fan of Pride and Powerful, or when he was with the Jericho group initially, I just was like, man. Talking about Jericho, got the gold Jericho from 2022. I feel like Jericho has kind of run his course also. Initially, I thought he did great as like the kind of pain maker or painkiller or whatever it's supposed to be. And then when he was when he kind of pulled the wizard thing was kind of funny. And he kind of, he's good about, the La Champion. I mean, he does quite a few like good gimmicks, but he somehow always finds a way to get himself attached to whatever the hot or upcoming new prospect is or faction or group. And now he's apparently connected with the House of Black, I guess, is starting to do a thing with them. And I'm just like, Jericho just needs to do it on his own. He's been doing it on his own for years. He needs to go back to that. I don't like the way he's doing it. He's been doing that for a while. He's been trying to get the rubs off of Orange Cassidy, off of Ricky Starks. There's a couple other guys. Of course, he's been mixing up with the Elite for the longest time. So I don't know. Sammy Guevara, go card, don't really care. Anthony Bowens, former World Tag Team Champion with Max Caster. I feel like that after they took the belts off of them, that things have died down. I don't know if that was such a good idea. I know it was probably a transition to get FTR the belts, which with the Guns and them ready to go to Double or Nothing, I think coming up in a couple weeks. We'll see how that goes. But I do believe that has hurt them, and maybe they didn't care about that. Maybe they're just like, yeah, that's fine. We got to do that. All of a sudden I forgot. Scissor me, Daddy. What the heck? The Acclaim. There we go. They I don't feel like they lost anything when they had the belts. I feel like they were as white hot as you could be, and then they just kind of like pull the belts off of them, and there you go. So who knows? Kenny Omega. I know I say this on almost all my videos. Never heard of the guy until AEW. By far, probably one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. He just did a wrestling match 2 days ago with, I can't even remember, Vikingo, I think, or Vikingo. I'm sure I've slaughtered that. That match, if you didn't know who that guy was before, I believe he's a Mexican superstar in the Lucha Libre AAA or whatnot. Dude was legit. I mean, he was doing things I'd never even seen before. I don't even know if there was names for some of the stuff he was doing. That match between him and Kenny Omega, I'm gonna give it a 10 stars instead of 5 stars. It was absolutely amazing. If you have not seen that match, you need to watch it. Sheeta, I don't know what happened to her. She like completely fell off. Ever since she dropped the belt to Britt Baker about a year and a half ago, and then she pretty much been relegated to like a background character. She shows up on Dark and Elevation once in a while. I think she's wrestling a lot in Japan, so maybe that's her own decision. But you know, she was pretty hot there for a while as well, and then she's just kind of fallen off the map. Then we got the Big Show again. It's the Big Show. And apparently he keeps kind of talking about, I mean, he's trying to drop hints on the mic that he wants to go back to wrestling. And so we'll see. I know he wants to wrestle. He's actually said he's had a few dream matches that he wants to have in AEW. So we'll see. I think he's been injured for a while. That's the reason why he hasn't been on as a wrestler, as a talent in the ring. So we will see. I guess I lied. There is one a baseball card. I have a rookie debut Topps Chrome. I think it's update of Seiya Suzuki. So I did lie. There is one Japanese baseball player here I picked up. Don't know much about him. Never seen him play before, but as you all know, if he's Japanese, I will pick him up. And I believe these are two of the exact same card. I don't believe. I think they're both the 2022 certified of Rowdy Piper. So you have Rowdy Piper right here. Good stuff. Huge fan of Roddy here. I've said before, I've met him. I'm not going to go through the whole story again. But he was a complete class act and a gentleman when I met him a few years before he passed at like a horror movie convention. And again, the reason why he was able to do that because, you know, well, one, wrestling and horror somehow go together. I don't know how that works, but it does. And then he was in They Live. He was in, I believe, Welcome to Frogtown or Frogtown something. I can't remember the exact name. And he did a couple other like real low budget horror movies there towards the end. But anyways, guys, there's that. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I won't make it longer than it needs to be. But hopefully you all enjoyed. And I have another physical media one coming up soon of wrestling DVDs. And so until next time, please comment below if you can. That's really all I care about. And we'll talk to you then. Peace.